Hello and welcome to this video. Today we are looking at the YieldMax announcements on the 27th of August 2025. In this video, go over the background of how the YieldMax ETFs work, my strategy related to them, and then I'll review this week's affected YieldMax ETF groups, show my updated dividend calculations based on this latest YieldMax announcement, and then look at the action items I need to achieve my goals with these ETFs. Investing involves the risk of loss. This video is not meant to be financial advice. Other than owning the ETFs presented in this video, I have no affiliation with the company that issued them. All right, let's take a look at the background. YieldMax makes announcements regarding their high-yielding dividend ETFs on Mondays. YieldMax has several groups of high-yielding ETFs. This week's affected ETFs are the weekly ETFs, which are paid out weekly, obviously, and Group D, which is paid out every 4 weeks. So my strategy, based on YieldMax's Wednesday dividend announcements, I buy more of the weekly and group ETFs to achieve my desired monthly income target. My current annual income goal per YieldMax ETF is roughly $2,400 per year. All right, so let's take a look at the announcement. Here are the calculation spread. This is the calculation spreadsheet, but here is what the YieldMax announcement looks like. And as you can see, it's August 27th, and the affected ETFs are the weekly payers and Group D. Also of note, the ex-dividend date is tomorrow, the 28th of August, and the payment date is Friday, August 29th. This is important. Sometimes the payment date is adjusted due to holidays and so forth. Luckily, Memorial Day is coming up, and that falls on Monday, and so there's no effect to this week's payment date on Friday. So as you can see, there are the weekly ETFs at the top, and then it goes into the Group D at the bottom, paid every 4 weeks. And then at the end of the announcement, they tell you what will be affected next week. All right, so let's go ahead and make adjustments to my my calculations based on the dividends that they're showing here in this announcement. So let's grab this. So the way this affects my calculations is I take away the latest dividends, zero those out. This is the column. Annual dividend goal is 2,400 for these two groups of ETFs. So let's start plugging in the numbers and see what we come out to. Okay, so first one is Chippy. Control C. All right, no change to that, thankfully. So the weekly shouldn't change because they changed 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, and hopefully it stays that way, unless the dividend paid out is so little that can affect it. But luckily, as you can see, estimated annual dividend is over 2,400, so that's a very big plus. All right, next one, LFGY. So far, so good with the calculations. Things haven't changed that much. No major downturn in the market for me. So, what happened there? So, if you're noticing, there's an average number next to it. And as long as the latest dividends, so I do my calculations based on either the average or the latest dividend. As long as the latest dividend is above the average, I use the average to do the calculations. So I make sure that I get the 2,400 per year annually. So that's how these calculations work. If there's any questions on that, please leave them in the comments below. But so far, everything's looking pretty good for the weeklies, at least. Not having to add any money on these. Now, ULTY, ULTY. This one fluctuates between 9.5, well, you can see 9.49 cents and 10. So that's don't want that to go too far lower there. YMAG. Now these two had some, YMAG and YieldMax had some upheavals last like a month ago. So made some, had to invest some money in those two, but luckily they're staying above the my goal right there. All right, so let's go on to the Group D. All right. Now, this used to be 1,800, and as you can see, it's we're raising it to 2,400, and this will be the last upgrade I do on these YieldMax ETFs. I'm going to let this coast for a while because I want to get my my margin down a little bit. Right now, I'm going to owe about $110,000, which is never, which is always scary. But as you can see here, AIYY, which is AI Option Income Strategy ETF, that's less than half of what the average is, and that's why I'm having to put so much more money into this. Don't know why that's affecting that so much. Keep going. Again, same. The Amazon ETF, based ETF here, AMZY. That's also down 9 cents basically from the average. So that's again why we're having to add a lot of, we're gonna have to add a lot of margin onto that. And we're gonna let this coast for a while. My goal was to get to 2,400 by the end of the year. I went ahead and accelerated that, and now I want to go ahead and do it now that the summer is almost over and let it coast for a while. And again, all of these are, none of these YieldMax ETFs are paying above the average right now, and I'm wondering what's going on with those. Ah, good, there, that's the one. Misty, of course, don't have to add funds to that, thank goodness. But again, that's not paying that much. Look at that, $1 where the average used to be $1.6. That's never fun. So if you're looking for steady income, these ETFs are not the way to go. This is sometimes they're going higher, sometimes they're not. It's quite scary sometimes, where 1 week, even in the weeklies, you'll be fine, and then it'll crater the next week or 4 weeks later in some of these cases. Let's see. Last one here is YQQQ. Control C. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so actually, you know what? This, according to my pre-calculations from last night, I thought I needed to add like almost $9,000. Now this is telling me I just need to add $6,883, and that'll give me an estimated income of $2,525.56. So, quite happy about that. It's less than I calculated by 2,000. Last night, but again, still got to add the funds in and see where that goes. All right, so given that, as you can see, don't have to add any more shares to my weekly, but I do have to add to the relative, as I call it, quote unquote, the monthlies, but it's the 4 week cycle. All right, so given that. So action items. In order to reach my latest dividend goals, I need to make some additional share purchases in my account so that, and I need to do it before tomorrow because to be safe, so I can get paid. The high yield payouts should be reflected on my account on the 29th. So if you can do me a favor, come back after the 29th of August to see how much I actually received from my YieldMax ETFs. And it'll hopefully go up by the 2,500 that I'm estimating. All right, so thanks for watching. Please click, if you want to see more, click to the right. There's a playlist there for what happened last week. And also if you could subscribe, like, and comment, I'd appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.